Hello, if you're watching this, then normally we would be meeting under slightly different circumstances, and we would be hopefully in one of our classrooms at the sixth form college, and I'd be able to kind of show you how we're set up, the different bits and pieces that we've got in our base rooms, and go from there. We are unfortunately not able to do that at the moment, as you are well aware, so we are going to meet in a slightly different way. My name is Stuart. I'm one of the teachers on the games development course, and I'm the subject leader of the course at Wingle Lane at the sixth form college. This is just a bit of an introduction to a short taster task that we're setting up for you that we'd like you to do between now and coming to see us in September. So I'm going to go through a couple of bits and pieces that you need to know. You've got hopefully already a PowerPoint or a document in front of you with all of the tasks set out step by step so that you can just go through them. This is just a chance for you to see me, for me to say hello, and for you to just have a little look kind of visually at the different bits of software that we're asking you to do. So the task is all outlined. I won't go through it too much. I'll mention it and kind of use it as examples, but I'm just going to go through how you get in onto the software and how you access it to complete the task we're after. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into here. So the first task, so you should hopefully have this document, something that looks like this. It might be slightly different in how it is presented, but this is what we've got, and you've got some detail and step by step. Let's just present that so you can see it a little bit easier. Step by step instructions of what to do and what we're asking you. The first one is all based on narrative. We're asking you to focus on two particular areas for this task: your narrative fundamentals and your character design. What we'd like you to do with this task is to create your own choose your own adventure story, and we're going to do that using a website called inkwriter.com, which looks like this. You have the website detailed for you in the instructions, but it's inkwriter.com, and it will take you to a page similar to this. This is slightly kind of two steps on from the first page that you've seen. What we would ask you to do, if you haven't got one already, if you could just set yourself up on a Gmail account, keep the labeling of it nice and appropriate so that you can use it throughout your time with us, and you'll be well away. It just means that you can log into this and the other site that we're going to use for this task, and it will save your progress and allow you to go back and forth over a period of time, rather than having to do it all in one go and save it without having any backup. So this is inkwriter.com, and what we'd like you to do is to go through. You'll see here that there's a little tutorial section. If you could go through that once you're signed in and everything, you can just go through that. You won't need to go through all of it. You'll just need to go through the first few sections of it just to understand how you use the site and get around of it. It's a lot easier for you to do that yourselves than for me to explain it here. But essentially what you'll be able to do is, in the write mode, which is what I'm in at the moment, you will be able to start your story. So I've used a pseudo Star Wars example here, and you can see that I've got once upon a time in a galaxy not too far from here. So that could be your opening paragraph, your opening page. It can be as long as you like, really, and you go through. Now what we're asking you to do is to make this a choose your own adventure. So we want different options as you get to the end of different sections, and for you to write up the different examples of whatever option you might choose. And you may kind of remember these from books that you read at the moment, from books that you've read in the past. If you do any Dungeons and Dragons or anything along those lines, it's something along that kind of setup. And you can see that I've got two options here. So once upon a time in a galaxy not too far from here, lived a young sorcerer or lived an old wizard. What one are you going to go for? And I can click on one and it brings in that option, whose name was Dave. Okay, and if we go back and I can look at the other one, his name was Bob. Okay, so nice and simple for you to understand and see what's going on. Yours will obviously be more complicated and detailed, and you've got a little bit of a structure of what we're asking you to do, making sure that you've got a hero, a villain, and 3 other characters that you're going to meet along the way. The rest of it is up to you. Where it's set, when it's set, what happens. Is it a journey from A to B? Is someone needing to be rescued? Has something got to be found? Whatever it is over to you. So see what you can come up with. We're really interested to see what your narrative ideas and what your storytelling ideas can conjure up. When you've done it, you can see that you've got a read section here. If I just click on there, then you can see how it's presented in the read section. So it's nice and simple to do that. Once you've got your story, and we're asking for it to be between about 500 to 1,000 words. So it gives you plenty of room to expand your story out, but it's not too taxing for you to develop overall. You'll see that you've got a little share icon up here. No, it's not. Oh, it's there. Sorry, I'm completely missing it. So where you can just share your story, and you can see that you've got a browser link there. That's all you need to send. You'll see in the instructions it just says that once you're done, you can email me that. You could just ping me that in an email once you're done before the 10th of July, I think it is, so that we've got it before the end of term, and then we'll get to have a chance and see what you've come up with. So that's the first part of your task, to go through and create that choose your own adventure story. See what you can come up with, see what you can create. The second part is looking at the character design, and what we want you to do is to create pixel based designs of your characters from your story. So we've asked you to create 3 of the different stories, and there's, again, on this page in the presentation in your task piece, you'll see that there's a bit of a breakdown of what we're asking. So this time it's just 3 characters: your hero, your villain, and 1 other character from your story. Whoever you choose is up to you. You can explain why you've chosen them when you send it through to us. And there's some examples of pixel based designs on here that we've just shared with you, okay, so that you've got an idea of what you're looking at. So we're not looking for anything kind of photorealistic or anything like that at this stage. Don't worry about that. We're looking for your creativity and your character design from the story element all the way through to what it looks like on screen, okay. So there's just some examples there. I'll come back to this one in a second. So what we'd like you to do is use Piskel to do that. And again, it's a website that you can go to. You can sign into it with your Gmail account, and that way you can save your work under the gallery in the cloud on there, and you can, like I said before, you can go through and you can track your progress as you go. All right, I'm just very quickly going to show you how to use this, because there's not really a tutorial on here as there is on the other site. So just click Create Sprite and you'll get a new window come up. Now we've asked you to create them 32 by 32 pixels. The default size when you open a new document is just that, so you don't need to do anything. You're ready to go off the bat, and you've got a frame here that you can design into, and you've got some tools that you can use. So you've got the pen tool, which is going to be the main one that you use, and if you've used anything like Photoshop or any design package, you'll see that you've got color options down here. So let's start off. So we can I'll do something really simple. That's meant to be a circle. It looks like a potato, but there we go. You'll bear with me. I'll come back to that in a minute. And then you can click on here and you can choose different colors. You've got kind of little colorways that you can use there. And then once you start using them in the document, so I'm going to use the paint bucket, which is hopefully a familiar tool to you there, just to fill in my potato. And you can see that I've got colors that I'm using in this document appearing down here on the right hand side. And then we can go back to our pen tool and we can choose our black so that we can actually draw on it. And let's give our potato a bit of a face. And we'll make him a smiley potato. It looks slightly sinister, but there we go. It looks a bit like a gone off pumpkin now. So you can see that you've got a few tools there that hopefully you're familiar with, and there's other bits and pieces that you can play around with. You've got this vertical pen tool where you can draw different things on there. Let's see if I can draw something just in the corner there. So you'll see that it's drawing, it uses the middle of our page to be a mirror so that we can draw things symmetrically. We've got an eraser tool. Let's just kind of rub that out. Bits and pieces so that you can see that, and then you've got some basic shape tools as well. So if you just want to stick with a shape, and this is where I should have used the circle tool before, that would have given me a better circle. And you've got some other tools in there. I'm not going to go through all of them at the moment. I'll let you experiment and see what you can come up with. So that's really what you need to know in terms of design and creating your characters. Once you've done that, what I'd really like you to do is see if you can experiment with some animation. So this is one frame of a character design as we've got. You can see up here that I've got our frame here, and I can duplicate this frame just by clicking the little little icon that comes up in the corner. You'll see it says duplicate this frame on screen, and you see there that I've got a second one straight away. So what I'm going to do on this one is I'm just going to grab my pen tool. I'm going to just drop it onto the yellow and get rid of that, and then I'm going to make that black, and I'm just going to draw a straight line. And hopefully what you can see up here is I've got my animation playing now. So all I wanted to do was make him wink, basically. And if I reduce our frames per second, you'll see it's set on 12 at the moment, which is far too quick for this example. If I just drop that down, there we go. You can see our grotesque pumpkin now winking at you. So you've got an idea of how you can create some really simple animations, and that's what we'd love you to experiment with. See what you can come up with, see what you can develop. Start with a static design initially, but then if you think you can play around with some animations and get it so it looks like it's walking or it's moving, then go for it. See what you can come up with. Let me show you an example that I've got in my gallery, which is one that was done earlier. Give it a second. There we go. So we've got one that's slightly more complicated like this, and you can see here I've only got 4 frames. It's not that complicated, but just by changing things and tweaking it, you can see that we've got this walk animation going on now. Okay, so with really simple modifications, you can create that animation within your piece, within your file. Okay, so that's one there. Let's look at just one other. Let's go back and have a look at our gallery. Let's look at one that's really simple. Let's look at our little robot up here. Okay, it's tricky to see. I don't know if I can get it to go bigger and now pop up. There we go. All right, so you'll see that you've got just a really simple animation by just changing the different colours, and they just cycle through. And again, 4 frames, so it's going from one set of the colours to another set, and they just flip over basically. But it creates that animation of the robot kind of floating in the air with its exhaust coming out, if you like, as it floats around. All right, so just a couple of ways that you can animate and you can develop your character design in Piskel. Okay, you've got, like I say, some examples of, there's our robot again. You've got some examples of bits and pieces that you can do. What we'd like you to do is export these out and send them to us. Really easy to export out. Once you're done, on the right hand side here, you see you've got save and export. So you can save your work in the cloud, in your gallery as you go. That's nice and easy. Just click on there and you'll see it says save to your gallery. Give it a name when you're doing yours and go through. You've got a few other options there, but saving to the gallery is fine. And this is where we need it for when you send it to us. Click on export, and you've got a couple of options. You've got GIF or you've got PNG. Either is fine. If you send us a PNG, if you've just done a static character and it's just 1 frame. If it's more than 1 frame and you've had to go at a bit of an animation, then make sure that you just send it out as a GIF to us. All right, so if it's got any animation in, just change it to a GIF and then send us that on the email that's explained in the document. Okay, what you might find is when you send it out as a GIF, or when you save it like that, it will look a little bit different, and it will look a little bit like this. This is just a sprite sheet, so this is just 1 single frame here, just so that you can see it nice and big. But this is a sprite sheet of all of the 4 frames of that character and example that I showed you, just so that you've got an idea of what it looks like. All right, that's what we'd love you to do. See what you can come up with, create your choose your own adventure story, develop your characters through that. Once you're done there, create a visual version of them in Piskel and see how you can develop not only the look of your characters and how they kind of transform from what was in your head onto the screen, onto the page, but then see if you can have a go at animating them. Give them a walk movement, or give them an attack movement, or something that gives them a little bit more of character and makes them stand out from just a static image. If you've got any questions, then my email is on the task. You can ping me a message and I will get back to you as quick as I can. And then you've got 2 lots of work to submit, all detailed on the task on there. Looking forward to seeing you, looking forward to seeing your work. Like I say, any questions, let us know, and we'll see you soon.